Hey fifth graders, Mrs. Trombley here. It is time to go through your bell work for Tuesday, January 19th. So you should already have this done and you should be watching this to check your work. And please correct any errors that you have. So when you turn this in, your answer should all be correct. Beginning part here, I ask you to write each fraction as a decimal. If you have 78 thousandths, that means there's a 0 in the one place because we don't have any ones. And if you have 78 thousandths, that means the 8 in the 78 needs to be 3 places over in the thousandths place. So you do need that 0 in the tenths place. 2 and 200ths, I should have a 2 in the ones place. And if it's 200ths, that means the 2 should be in the hundredths place. You need to put a 0 in the tenths place. Number 3, 9 and 1/10 is 9.1. We have a 1 in the tenths place. For 4, 5, and 6, oh, I see I misnumbered these. It'll be okay. For 4, 5, and 6, for the first 4, 5, 6, we are asked to compare using greater than, less than, or equal to. So right here, I see that this has 3 places to the right. Remember, just like we want common denominators when we compare fractions, we want common place value when we're comparing decimals. So that means I need a third digit right here, and we saw the patterns that I can put that 0 there and not change the value of it. So now we see we're comparing 5 thousandths with 50 thousandths, and 50 would be more. For this one here, I see 1 place to the right and 2 places to the right, so I need to add that 0. And 1 and 70 hundredths would be greater than 1 and 9 hundredths. For number 6, a lot of people want to say that these are equal. They're actually not. This has 3 places to the right, so this goes to the thousandths place. I want this to go to the thousandths place, and I wouldn't put a 4 there, I would put a 0 there. So we're comparing 440 thousandths with 444 thousandths. 444 thousandths would be greater. Okay, for number 5, I ask you, for your second number 5, to write this right here in standard form. That means you're going to write the actual number. So this first part says 724, and then I see the word and. So this would simply be 724 and a decimal point to follow because the word and means a decimal point. And the second part says 4 hundredths. So I know this is the number 4. If I say hundredths, that means the 4 needs to go in the hundredths place. So I need a 0 in the tenths place. For 6, you are supposed to write this in word form. So your second number 6. In word form, I see in front of this decimal point, it's just the number 23. So I will write 23, that gets the dash. And following that 23 is a decimal point, so I write the word and. Now this chunk right here after the decimal point, 0, 1, 5, I see 15. So I will write 15, but it's not worth 15. This is 15, and that 5 is in the thousandths place. So 23 and 15 thousandths is what you should have. 1,000 with a this. Number 7, write this amount right here in expanded place value form. So expanded place value form means you're writing the value of each digit, but we are taking it and multiplying it by its place value. So this 3 is in the hundredths place. You should have written 3 times 100, plus this 2 is in the tens place, 2 times 10. 8 is in the ones place. Now I see a decimal point. I'm still going to write an addition sign here. This is a 0. I don't have to include it because 0 times 1/10 is 0, but this 3 is in the hundredths place. Not hundreds place, hundredths. So I need to take 3 times 100th, and this 4 is in the thousandths place, so that would be 4 times 1,000th. Okay, now I ask you to calculate each sum or difference. This was the tail end of what we learned how to do last week. So first things first, number 8, I'm going to write a number 8 here. I have 78.9, and I want to add to that 55 and 779 thousandths. I need my decimal points to be in the same exact spot, so I'm going to fill in the 55 in front of that and the 779 after that. I know it looks a little bit strange to start, but remember we can fill in these empty spaces here with zeros, and it looks a little less strange. So let's go ahead and add. We add them like normal. 0 plus 9 is 9, 0 plus 7 is 7, 9 plus 7 is 16, and I carry my 1. 8 plus 1 is 9, and 9 plus 5 is 14, carry my 1. 7 plus 1 is 8, and 8 plus 5 is 13. Now my answer is not 134,679. Remember to build that snowman. We bring this decimal point down because I want to keep my tenths, hundredths, and thousandths as tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. So that's what you should have for number 8. All right, number 9, this is another addition problem. And here I see a whole number, I see 23, and what I'm gonna do right off the bat, I'm gonna go ahead and put my decimal point right after that 3, because that means I still have 3 1s and 2 10s, but now I have the decimal point that I'm able to line up in the problem. So I'll write my 23 with my decimal point, and now I wanna line up 8 and 89 hundredths underneath that. This is what it should look like when you set it up, and you can fill those in with zeros. 0 plus 9 is 9, 0 plus 8 is 8. I'm just gonna go ahead and drop my decimal point down right now. 8 plus 3 is 11, and 2 plus 1 is 3. So 31 and 89 hundredths for that one. Number 10, this is subtraction. And remember, we set this up the same way. I used the same exact numbers as the first one for this one. I don't know if you caught that, but I did. So I have 78.9, and when I set up my 55.779, I'm going to go ahead and write 55.779, like so. So all my places are lined up. The most common error I see is people just say, oh, okay, well that's 9 and this is 7. This means 0 minus 9. These empty spaces up here need to be filled with zeros because nothing means 0, right? Now I can't borrow, well, first off, I can't take 9 away from 0. So when I go here to borrow, I can't. I have to go all the way over to this 9 to borrow. When I borrow from this 9, I get 8, and the number next to it gets 10. And now I can borrow from this 10, it's 9, and there I have a 10 there. So 10 minus 9 is 1, 9 minus 7 is 2, 8 minus 7 is 1. I'm gonna drop down my decimal point. 8 minus 5 is 3, and 7 minus 5 is 2. So 23 and 121 thousandths is your answer for that. Number 12, last one for today. I'm very excited. I see a whole number. I'm gonna go ahead and put a decimal point right after that 7 because this is 17. That means 7 1s and 1 10. Now I'm gonna write my 17 with the decimal point after it, and I'm gonna line up 1.02 so my decimals are in the same place. Please remember, you don't just drop down the 2 and the 0. Oh, I accidentally wrote an addition sign. It should be subtraction. You can't just drop down the 2 and the 0. I need to put my zeros in here, and then it's easier to see, hey, I can't take 2 away from nothing. So I'm gonna have to borrow across zeros again. I can't borrow from this, it has nothing, but I can borrow from this 7. It becomes 6. So there's my 10. Nope, it's 9. And there's my 10, and yes, it stays 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 0 is 9. I'm going to keep my decimal point right there. 6 minus 1 is 5. And 1 minus empty box is 1. You could put a 0 there also if you wanted. It doesn't matter. But 15 and 98 hundredths is your answer. Thanks for watching.